little bit of relief at the end to get back into the points. For a while we dropped out, and yeah, I mean, a few reasons we...
Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about the current phase of Daniel Ricciardo's career in Formula One. The guy is looking for more consistency and performance since he returned to Red Bull, and it looks like he found a new strategy, turning up the intensity and maybe even adding a bit of anger to the mix. Let's take a look at how he's doing and what he's doing to try to secure his spot on the team. Since returning to Red Bull, Daniel Ricciardo has faced challenges in finding the consistency and performance that made him one of the most respected drivers in F1. At first, it seemed like he was destined for a successful trajectory, especially with this new chance at the team. However, the reality has been somewhat different. Ricciardo acknowledged that the lack of consistency has been a serious problem. In several races, he started well, but then saw his performance drop dramatically. This is something he is determined to correct. According to him, the key is to maintain intensity and focus throughout the entire race weekend, not just when he feels most comfortable or when conditions are ideal. A clear example of this quest for consistency was the Canadian Grand Prix. There, Ricciardo managed to deliver a solid performance from start to finish, something he had been striving for. He himself said that it was the first weekend where everything went smoothly without extreme highs and lows, but to really secure his place on the team, he needs to make this type of performance common, not an exception. After a series of inconsistent races, the Monaco Grand Prix was a turning point for Ricciardo. He decided to adopt an introspective approach, something he called self-therapy. He wanted to understand what, in their view, might be hindering his performance. This process of openness and feedback was crucial to identifying small adjustments that could make a big difference. He began cutting unnecessary activities and investing more time with his engineers, ensuring that every detail was reviewed before the races. These changes not only helped improve his preparation, but also relieved some of the pressure he was feeling. The result of this self-therapy began to appear in Canada, where Ricciardo had a much smoother and more consistent weekend. He mentioned that he felt a significant difference, and that this new approach might be the key to getting back on top. One of the major changes Ricciardo implemented after his post-Monaco reflection was the reduction of commercial and extra activities that were stealing his focus. Despite being a valuable commercial asset for Red Bull and its partners, he realized that these obligations were interfering with his preparation for the races. An interesting point was how Ricciardo opened up to receiving feedback from his team. He invited his colleagues to offer constructive criticism, leading to open and productive conversations about how to improve his performance. This collaborative approach helped identify and eliminate small distractions and inefficiencies. These adjustments quickly began to show results. In Canada, Ricciardo had a solid weekend from start to finish, something he directly attributed to the changes in his routine and preparation. He mentioned that he felt more confident and prepared, which was reflected in his performance on the track. A crucial part of understanding the challenges Ricciardo faces is comparing his performance with that of his teammate, Yuki Tsunoda. Since returning to Red Bull, Ricciardo has lagged behind Tsunoda in several key metrics, which adds to the pressure to improve. In terms of qualifying positions, Tsunoda has a better average, typically starting races a few positions ahead of Ricciardo. This difference in qualifying translates to a significant disadvantage for Ricciardo, who often has to fight to gain positions during the race. This not only requires more effort, but also increases the risk of incidents on the track. When we look at finishing positions, the difference remains evident. Tsunoda has been finishing races on average 1.9 positions ahead of Ricciardo. This consistency makes Tsunoda a point of reference within the team, and puts Ricciardo in a position where he needs to show significant improvements to justify his place. Even at the Canadian Grand Prix, where Ricciardo had a solid weekend, Tsunoda still managed to stand out in certain moments, such as in qualifying. Ricciardo needs to not only replicate the positive performance from Canada, but exceed it repeatedly to establish himself as a reliable and secure choice for the team. The comparison is tough but necessary. He recognizes that every race is an opportunity to show progress, and that the pressure to secure his place is constant. Pressure can be a decisive element in a Formula One driver's career, and for Ricciardo, this pressure has been an additional motivation. He is aware that he needs to prove his worth in every race, especially with young talents like Liam Lawson waiting for an opportunity. This awareness of his situation has been a driving force for significant changes in his approach. He mentions that he feels better when he's in a time to take fucking charge moment, which has won him races and earned him podiums in situations that other drivers might not have achieved. This mentality of facing challenges head-on is something he is trying to channel once again. The recent confirmation of Tsunoda for the next season puts Ricciardo in a position where he needs to compete directly with Lawson for a seat. This internal competition is intense, but Ricciardo sees it as an opportunity to show his true potential. He believes that a bit of anger and intensity might be exactly what he needs to stand out. At the Canadian Grand Prix, this approach already began to show results. Ricciardo brought renewed energy to the weekend, determined to prove that he still has a lot to offer. He mentioned that by keeping a chip on his shoulder and increasing his level of intensity, he managed to improve his focus and performance. This constant pressure to secure his future on the team might paradoxically be exactly what Ricciardo needs to get back on top. The fight to stay on the team is far from easy, but he is determined to use every challenge as a stepping stone to success. For Ricciardo, the path to recovery and success in Formula One is not just about improving performance in a single race, but maintaining that intensity throughout the entire season. Consistency is key, and he is well aware of that. After the reflections and adjustments made after Monaco, Ricciardo is determined to maintain the same focused and intense approach in the upcoming races. The 2024 season presents a series of challenges, especially with the first triple header of races coming up. This will be a crucial opportunity for Ricciardo to show that he can maintain a high level of performance consistently. So folks, it's clear that Daniel Ricciardo is at a crucial point in his career, right? The pressure is high, the competition is tough, but he's determined to turn things around. The changes he's made in his preparation, deep reflection, and reduction of distractions are starting to pay off. The Canadian GP showed that he still has what it takes to compete at the highest level, but consistency will be key from now on. Will he be able to maintain this intensity and prove he deserves his place at Red Bull? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, with this new mentality and hunger for victory, Ricciardo won't give up easily. Stay tuned for the upcoming races, because if there's one thing F1 teaches us, it's that everything can change in the blink of an eye. Who knows what awaits us in the next lap?